Let's start our lesson for today, that is about paper 2 for CEFR at 00/2 for speaking. Okay, so the weightage for this paper, for speaking paper, is 25%, and we have two parts over here. Part 1 is for individual presentation, and for individual presentation you will be given 2 minutes to do your preparation and another 2 minutes to do your presentation. Meanwhile, for part number 2, that is group discussion. For this one, you will be given 3 minutes to do your preparation and 8 to 12 minutes to do your presentation. There is a lot of way on how to score a good band for this paper. So, for you guys, especially for candidate that is new with this subject, I advise you to create or to generate a script. The reason why we're doing this, because we need to create that cell memory so that you know what should you do next, what should you say next, and how you want to start, and also how you want to end up your conversation or your script. This is an outline in order for you to create your script or for you to create or generate your speech. Okay, so over here we start with part number 1, that is for individual presentation. So basically this is what you should say, or what are the outline that you may follow in order for you to score a good band for your speaking or at 00/2 paper. So let us start with our greeting part. So remember candidate, so for greeting, just make it as simple as you can. For example, like thank you examiners, and once again good morning examiners. Then you just start with this one based on the situation given, that is. I will show you how to use this outline to create your script or to generate your speech after this. Just bear in mind that after you say that good morning to that examiners, then you may start or you must start with this one based on the situation given, that is. So this one will be basically refer to the situation. So in real question, there will be given a situation to all of the candidate. So we will use that to generate our script later. Okay, now let us move on to our second step, that is body part. Okay, so for this one, for body or for your points, so you are advised to think about or to generate 3 points in order for you to explain your main point. Okay, so point number 1, point number 2, and point number 3. So candidate, for each of the point, this is what should you do, this is what should be included in all of the point. For each of the point, this is how you create or how you generate your script. So number 1, start with sequence connectors. Okay, so when we talk about sequence connectors, let's say this is our first time taking this paper. So just start with a simple sequence connector. For an example, firstly, secondly, and thirdly, you may use that 3 sequence connector for each of the point. Then provide one explanation to support your point. So this one, how you want to do an explanation? you may start with the words like, the reason why I am saying this because. You may use that phrase to do an explanation. Then you need to provide one example to support your explanation. So for example, you may use something like this. For an example. Okay, I repeat once again. For an example. Then you provide or you state down what is your example. After that, you should do your mini conclusion. Remember, this is mini conclusion and not summarize. So do not use a word like as a conclusion. No, not yet. So for provide mini conclusion, you may use something like, this is the reason why I'm saying that. So what is your point number one again? Then you say it again. So that is how you do mini conclusion. For summarize or for the last part in your speaking is you need to do a conclusion. For example, like this one. As a conclusion, this is the reason why I believe. After that, you have to refer back to your point. I mean, you recall back or you say again what is your point. Okay? Then after that, to end up your speech, you may say, that's all from me and thank you for listening. Now I will be showing you how to use this one in generate your script or how to use this method to do your speaking. Okay, let us start. Okay, so this is specifically for part 1, that is individual presentation. So remember, candidate, you will be given 2 minutes to do your preparation and also 2 minutes to do your presentation. Okay, so this is the situation. Remember, this is the situation. People can be happy and healthy at an old age. Suggest things that keep elderly people happy. So, for example, you are candidate A. So this is your point. You have to give a presentation to your class. Talk about exercising. So remember, you are candidate A. So your main point is exercising. Let us start with our introduction. Okay, so for introduction, you may start with greeting. For greeting, just make it simple. For example, good morning, examiners. Enough. Okay, I repeat once again. Good morning, examiners. Then you just continue with this one. Based on the situation given, that is. Okay, so how you want to go with this one? Okay, let us get back to the question. This one. Okay, the situation over here. So we repeat once again our greeting. Okay, for example like this, Good morning, examiners. Based on the situation given, that is, people can be happy and healthy at an old age. After that, you continue with this sentence. I believe that. Okay, I believe that exercising will keep elderly people happy. Now, I will be showing you on how to use this method, I mean this element, okay, to create script for point 1. I repeat once again. I will show you how to use this method, okay, this one, to create script for point number 1. Okay, let us start. Okay, let's say you are candidate A. and this is your point. Candidate A, this is your main point. You have to give a presentation to your class, talk about exercising. And our point number 1 will be lift your spirit and energy level. So meaning to say that by doing exercising, it will lift your spirits and energy level. Okay, let us start with our step number 1. That is start with sequence connectors. Remember? Step number 1, start with sequence connectors. For sequence connectors, for this first try, I want you to start with a very simple sequence connector. The basic one, that is firstly. So how you do it? Okay, this is an example. Okay, listen carefully. Firstly, I believe that exercising will lift your spirit and energy level. Okay, that is step number 1. Start with sequence connectors. Okay, now we go with step number 2. That is provide explanation for this point number 1. Okay, making you feel better. That is the explanation. For example, okay, so this is how you do it. The reason why I'm saying this because exercising will make us feel better. Okay, so that is how you do explanation. Then step number 3 is you need to provide one example. Let's say over here our example is body release good hormone known as endorphins. So how you want to give an example is like this. So for example, while exercising, our body release good hormone known as endorphin. Full stop. Okay, that is for example. Now all of us need to provide a mini conclusion. So remember class, mini conclusion for point number 1. Okay, mini conclusion for point number 1. So this is an example for mini conclusion. This is the reason why I'm saying that exercising will keep elderly people happy. Okay, so that is how you do mini conclusion. Okay, now I want to give you an example of how you elaborate this whole point. So I will read through the whole text with you for point number 1. Okay, let's start. Firstly, I believe that exercising will lift your spirits and energy level. The reason why I'm saying this because exercising will make us feel better. For an example, while exercising, our body release good hormone known as endorphin. This is the reason why I'm saying that exercising will keep elderly people happy. For point number 2 and number 3, you will need to repeat the same method as point number 1. It's just that you need to change the sequence connectors. For example, for point number 2, you may start with secondly. And for point number 3, you may start with thirdly or lastly or finally. Okay, so after that, we will do our summary. For example, like this. Going back to the, okay, over here. This is how you do your summarize or your conclusion. I mean the main conclusion for 3 points. Okay, this is how is it. As a conclusion, this is the reason why I believe. Okay, guys or candidate. For each of the mini conclusion, you may use the word "this is the reason why I'm saying that." Okay, if you can see the difference. For mini conclusion, we use the word "this is the reason why I am saying that." But for conclusion, okay, this one, for conclusion, we use the word "I believe that." As a conclusion, this is the reason why I believe that exercising will keep elderly people happy. I repeat once again to all of you, okay? As a conclusion, this is the reason why I believe that exercising will keep elderly people happy. That's all from me, and thank you for listening. Okay, so this is a basic way or the simple way to generate a script for your speaking. Part 1, that is individual presentation.